welcome back to yet another episode of Buffalo Bills Pregame Show Week 6. The big trade deadline, lots of action, probably not going to happen in the NFL because for some reason this league doesn't like intrigue. But we have come off a loss and a victory. The Giants kind of beat us up here at home, and we go into Tennessee and survive a close one. What's a quick reaction these 2 weeks? How did the Bills make you feel about their performance?
Meh. Probably the best way to put it. Without your top offensive weapons in McCoy, Williams, Watkins, the offense looks pedestrian without them. Tyrod ran for his life yesterday and was very effective at creating something out of nothing because the ground and pound approach did not work in the first half at all, as evidenced by the 22-8 time of possession in the first half.
But the defense still, despite being on the field for almost the entire first half, only allowed 3 points. So that is definitely a positive.
Bend but do not break.
Bend but do not break. The secondary seems to be looking good. The pass rush, even though not getting franchise record-breaking numbers that we've had in the past couple seasons,
they're still getting the pressure.
Mariota
was tasting the little rubber pellets in the turf yesterday.
But we do have a much better quarterback coming in this week. Top story, our defensive backs are ranked 2 and 3 in the league, and facing
according to Pro Football Focus,
and facing a strong passing attack. How do you think this battle between Bengals' high-powered offense and our defense is going to play out?
Their running backs haven't been great. Gio Bernard is averaging about 80 yards a game. What it really comes down to is, can we shut down A.J. Green and Tyler Eifert, which means Aaron Williams is going to have to be locking down Eifert almost single-handedly. And A.J. Green's going to have to be doubled up by one of the corners and the other safety there.
As well as Darby and Gilmore are playing, when Leodis is healthy, where do you see him fitting in on the defense?
That's going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to use him as another slot guy, or instead of using more of a nickel look at times, maybe they'll go with a dime look just for the coverage sake there. That's always a possibility. And who knows how healthy McKelvin actually will be when he is activated as well.
It's a tribute to Darby that you can't really sit him right now as good as he's been playing.
He's been playing lights out, not just for a rookie, just as a player in general. He's been doing great.
On the offensive side of the ball, the running game has been a little lackluster. We are, of course, missing the 2 top backs with Williams and McCoy. Do you see the run game improving this week?
That's contingent on if McCoy or Williams comes back. I'd say Williams is the more likely one to come back from the concussion. But if we're stuck with Herron and Dixon and Sierra Wood or whoever else they drag off the street, probably not.
Are you comfortable with Tyrod running the ball as much as he did this past week?
Not at this point in the season. Later in the season, when the games are more important, I would rather be doing that more, but anything to get a win.
Do you see any holes in the Bengals' defense do you think that they'll be able to exploit offensively?
Their defense hasn't been great, and in particular, their linebacking core is getting up there in age. And I'd just say avoid Geno Atkins, and we should be okay. That's the biggest thing. Stud D tackle there. So
you're seeing a lot of bootlegs, like
even on the runs, you don't need to run it right into the A gaps. You could run into the B or C gaps there, or even outside, depending on who you have carrying the ball.
All right, and back to our defensive side of the ball. As we mentioned, our defense has not been getting the sacks as it had, but they're going to see a lot of passing from the Bengals. Do you think we can see an uptick in sacks this week?
I'm going to say no for this reason. The Bengals have actually been very good at protecting Dalton, and it's partially been his release. And the blueprints there where the way to beat the Bills right now is with the quick releases and beat the blitz or beat the short zones. And that kind of spells trouble, but if the Bills are able to get the same kind of pressure on Dalton as they did Mariota, that's going to be a huge asset for the team in general. So I'd say expect as much pressure, but not the result in sacks.
And that'll bring us to the topic of discussion this week. We've faced several injuries on both sides of the ball. What depth players on the Bills team do you think have come through so far this season, and you expect to continue to make contributions going forward?
I'm going to have to ask the producer to pull out a graphic for this one, but you got to say Rambo. Bakari has stepped up when he's been asked to do so, and I think he's going to see more time than Duke Williams going forward. 7-11 as well, another graphic being requested there. As I see the producer wincing right now.
Putting Jared to work.
Yes. And even though he's not listed as a starter, we'll say Karlos Williams, once healthy again, he's going to be producing a ton for us as well. No graphic needed.
All right, representing the Williams family. Love it.
Yep.
Keys to the game this week. The Bengals, 5-0, unexpected. I expected them to be one of the teams we were competing for in the wild card, but it looks like they're going to run away with their division. What's it going to take to beat the Bengals this week?
Yes, sir. Honestly, one of the reasons the Bills did pull off the victory against the Titans was they weren't taking stupid penalties. Jerry Hughes wasn't getting flagged for mouthing off to the official, nor was Preston Brown. It did help that we weren't getting hosed with terrible calls left and right as well, but playing smart, disciplined football is going to be the way to do it. Maybe a little bit of play variety on offense as well, but I have to say discipline, discipline, discipline. You need your discipline. It's discipline.
I'm going to go with our defensive front. I know it's been a popular choice for keys of the game this year, but if we can keep Dalton uncomfortable throughout the course of the game, I think that combined with the crowd noise being back here at home, it'll be good things for the Bills.
Keep in mind the run game too. Our team's been stout against the run in general.
I think the Bills are catching the Bengals at a good time where they're feeling good about themselves being 5-0. No one expected them to do this well. And I think this is kind of a trap game for the Bengals, so I see the Bills winning 27-24.
Ooh, I was going to pick that, so I'm going to have to be different here. I'm going to say...
That's why I went first this week.
I'm going to go with 25-20.
25 points. There have been a lot more unusual scores in the NFL this year.
Because of the extra point rules, I'm loving it.
And our inability to make field goals. All right, next week we'll be back to preview the Jaguars in London, England. But that's it for this week in Buffalo Bills pregame. Thanks for hanging out.
And we're still here. Yeah, long story short, we shot the entire show before the news of the day came out, which is Tyrod Taylor is out for this game. E.J. Manuel will start, as I'm sure you all know. So I will just quickly say this so we address it. Why did we get rid of Cassel? We had a very good backup. No reason to trade him away for the little bit that we got back from 2017. We wouldn't even be having an issue at this point because as much as we all agree that Tyrod Taylor should be the starter, Matt Cassel is just as capable. And now we're going with someone who's really not that capable and an emergency backup plan. Okay, so now Rex Ryan's saying maybe Tyrod Taylor will play. It is Wednesday at 11:36 p.m. Looks like this show's going out without an official word of who our quarterback's going to be. I will quickly say that if Tyrod Taylor's injury is as bad as they say, I'm fine. Rest him. We want to keep him for the whole season. Don't play him next week and, risk losing him for the entire season. I'm not a fan of EJ playing, but I'd rather just, bite the bullet and go with it. than risk injury to our clear starting quarterback. So that's all I got. Just play it smart, Buffalo. That's my final word. Go Bills.